Hey, it's Felice, totally awake, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Now, today, I know it's been about 6 months since I've been on my YouTube channel, and I was brainstorming how I want to come back because I gotta come back because I'm not done with this work. Not at all, okay? And I thought, what better way to come back after it's literally been my 7th anniversary, okay, on YouTube. And I know I haven't been active all 7 years, but for a good chunk, I was. And it's been 7 years since I posted my first video that got over 219K views. It went viral at the moment, especially to me. That was definitely viral for me. And the video did really well, and I continued to share my story and expose Watchtower. And, 3 years ago, what I never got a chance to share was that I was able to participate in a protest. And I know, I promoted the protests and things like that on my channel, but I never got a chance to show you guys footage of my actual speech at the Be Free 2023 protest. So it's something that, I was very honored to be a proud of. I'm sorry, very honored to be a part of. It's something that I'm very proud of. And I want to share that today, I 7 years ago, July 4th, I posted my video, even though I had made it on June 19th, Juneteenth, which is my grandmother's birthday, but I didn't post it until July 4th. And now another July 4th has passed 7 years later, and I would like to share my speech that I gave 3 years ago at the Be Free 2023 protest in front of the White House. And this video belongs to their creator, Justin, from XJW Diaries. Thank you, Justin, for allowing me to use this portion of your video for my own use. I do really appreciate it. Justin did a phenomenal job at the 2023 Be Free protest. He was the host, and it was just awesome. But go ahead and check this clip out, and I'll be back with some more of my commentary.
So, first we go. Where did Felice go? Let's see. Okay, so our next speaker is Felice. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I wrote down my thoughts because I didn't want to miss anything, so bear with me. All right. Hello. My name is Felice, also known as Totally Awake, as I have named my YouTube channel, where I do my activism. Thank you. Against Watchtower. I am a born-in, third-generation ex-Jehovah's Witness, baptized at 15. I had a huge awakening from the indoctrination of Watchtower when I experienced a placenta abruption and my daughter needed several blood transfusions at birth to survive. She was not breathing, without a heartbeat, and she didn't have any blood in her little body. Could you imagine letting yourself, a loved one, or your child die refusing life-saving blood? Well, to be an obedient and true Jehovah's Witness, you have to be willing and ready to sacrifice your life or your child's life when faced with needing a life-saving blood transfusion. I was put asleep for an emergency C-section. When I awoke, my doctor told me there was no if, ands, or but about it. We had to give my daughter an emergency blood transfusion to survive. I told him, okay, thank you for saving my baby. See, the doctors were confused because even though I was waking up from Watchtower and had changed my paperwork to say no denomination in the hospital I had my baby at, it didn't register at my doctor's office suite. So they had no idea I was okay with blood. I couldn't fathom how anyone could allow their child to die refusing life-saving medical treatment that God had allowed man to be able to perform. How unloving would that be? The doctor and my husband, who has never been a Jehovah's Witness, was going to make sure my daughter would receive the life-saving treatment she should. I knew I wanted out. You see, though, around the time when my first daughter was born, I found out about all the corruption and lies, flip-flop doctrine and false doctrine, that I knew I would give my daughter or myself blood if she or I needed it during the birth process. Regardless of the fact that it is against the rules as a Jehovah's Witness, as they feel blood is sacred and represents life. But like former governing body member Raymond Franz of the Jehovah's Witness organization said, blood is sacred, but not more sacred than the life it represents. For decades, countless lives have been lost due to their following the rules and direction of Watchtower and its unbiblical doctrine to die rather than to receive a life-saving blood transfusion. Children have been published on their front cover of an Awake magazine dated May 22nd, 1994, praising them for sacrificing their lives for this organization, all dying, refusing life-saving medical treatment. They were only children. They should not have been made to, or even be considered to follow such a heinous doctrine, a doctrine or belief to die for. There is even a hospital liaison team that comes to the hospital to encourage a Jehovah's Witness patient to allow themselves to die, to kill themselves, refusing a life-saving blood transfusion, should they need to. Watchtower must be stopped. Be Free 2023. As we join together today, our hope is to bring exposure to the dangers in the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses and to demand change. Thank you so much for listening and allowing me to speak today. Remember, receiving life-saving blood is a personal choice. Preserve your souls alive. Blood saves lives. Say it with me. Preserve your souls alive. Blood saves lives. Preserve your souls alive. Blood saves lives. Preserve your souls alive. Blood saves lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That is a major, major issue. A lot of lives have been lost due to that. Now, I didn't have my Wi-Fi ready, so I was going to give you guys a whole timeline of all the changes. But it's out there if you need to see it. But I'll just talk about it anyways a little bit. Once upon a time, did you know the Watchtower actually accepted blood transfusions? Then they changed it. Then it was nothing at all. No blood at all. And then they changed it to allow, can you, do you mind bringing that up here? Yeah. That's good to show. Thank you so much. So for people that can see this, this is the cover that Felice was talking about. This was a real cover that the Watchtower put out in Awake, May 22nd, 1994. Real pictures of kids that lost their lives due to refusing blood. Can you imagine putting kids who lost their lives on the cover of a magazine in order to help encourage other kids to also give up their lives due to this policy that is constantly changing? Again, I was going to bring up the timeline, but no Wi-Fi. But if you look at the timeline, they have allowed blood, then they disallowed it. Then they allowed certain fractions. Then they allowed other fractions. Then they allowed other fractions. And in between all those changes, people are dying. Real people are dying. Real kids are dying. Not just numbers on a piece of paper. Actual people who had actual futures. Lost over a religious teaching that has no biblical background. This is their messed up interpretation, and people are suffering for it. Thank you so much.
I thought it was important to include what Justin had to say right after my speech because I just thought it was so powerful. Children are dying. Real people are dying. all while Watchtower has constantly changed its blood doctrine. And since this protest in 2023, there's been another change on the blood doctrine where now the members of the Jehovah's Witnesses are allowed to store and take their own blood. I guess Jehovah changed his mind. Well, I wonder how many kids on that Awake magazine that were praised for sacrificing their life for Jehovah, how many of them could have benefited from being able to take their own blood? Now, keep in mind, there was never an apology, ever, from Watchtower based on their doctrine where people lost their lives over it. They never gave apologies for when it changed and they could now take blood parts. They could now use their own stored blood. And a lot of people lost their lives, and they didn't have to if they just would have known that Jehovah didn't mind if they used that alternative. But I guess he hadn't told his governing nobodies that yet, right? Those governing nobodies should be in jail because of their doctrine that had people so caught up that they were willing to die for their unbiblical teachings. Don't even get me started on the governing nobodies, okay? Because these people don't want to apologize. Instead, they want to fight court cases in Norway, where they were almost banned for their cruel shunning, okay, and cult-like practices. But they fought that by lying and trying to dim down what they actually do to the public. They went and deleted all this stuff. Please know that you can run Watchtower, governing nobodies, but you can't hide, okay? We already got it. We already got all that stuff y'all trying to delete. It's already on the internet, okay? But you guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description if you'd like to check out the entire protest, because it was good back in 2023. And then there was another one that followed that, I believe in 2024 or 2025. I didn't get a chance to make that one, but go check them out, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video, okay? Leave me a comment. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.